Heavenly New Moon, October 21st, 2025. 8 Divine Miracles Revealed. Must-see supernatural wonders. The air crackled with anticipation in the small village of St. Augustine as dusk fell. The dimly lit church glowed warmly, inviting souls seeking solace under the gaze of the newly risen moon. The villagers, steadfast in their belief, gathered within its walls, ready to witness something extraordinary. Pastor James, with his fervent energy, led the prayer vigil, his voice rising like incense toward heaven. Tonight we stand united. Tonight we witness divine wonders, he declared, the words igniting flickers of hope. Among the crowd, Sarah knelt, her heart heavy. As a devoted single mother, her spirit had been battered watching her dear son, Daniel, fight the cruel sickness that clung to him like a shadow. Yet, as she bowed her head, an inexplicable warmth enveloped her, a glimmering promise whispered through her prayers. The moon outside emerged, casting a radiant glow, igniting the expectant hearts of the congregation. Then, a flicker of divine energy coursed through the gathered souls. "Have faith," urged Pastor James, as the atmosphere thickened with belief and yearning. "That's it. Keep praying," cried an elderly woman, her voice quavering with emotion. The church electrified with murmurs of faith as hearts opened. The faithful felt angels among them, their presence palpable, lighting the dim hall with a sacred warmth. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Just then, Sarah felt her spirit surge. Visions of hope filled her mind. "God, let there be a miracle for my Daniel," she cried, her voice rising above the sea of praying souls. In that moment, she felt a divine echo, a prophetic word promising life returning to the lifeless. The church shifted, the air charged with expectancy. The light seemed to flicker and dance, urging them all to believe. As the villagers encircled Sarah, hands raised, they poured their hearts into prayer. "Heal our Daniel." Fervent cries filled the air. Tears streamed down Sarah's face, mingling faith with desperation. Then, something wondrous happened. A gentle warmth spread through the crowd, settling upon Daniel, who had been so still beside his mother. Hope flickered inside Sarah, igniting whispers of something miraculous. When Sarah rushed to the hospital later that night, she stumbled into the sterile room. The doctors, once grim, now wore expressions of disbelief as Daniel's vitals rallied like a spring flower breaking through winter's grasp. "It's a miracle," they exclaimed, shaking their heads in astonishment. But whispers raced through the village as they spoke. Was it really a miracle, or just coincidence? The air thickened with skepticism as excitement surged. They grappled with their faith, the line between belief and doubt becoming perilously thin. Through the unease, the community clung tightly to their shared history and the familiar warmth of hope. Yet as the moon reached its peak, an undeniable question echoed among the villagers. Had they truly witnessed the magnificent hand of God, or were they merely caught in a whirlwind of uncertain faith? With 7 more miracles to unfold, the evening stretched ahead, laden with a threadbare sense of possibility. Tonight was only the beginning. The night held secrets yet to reveal. The church was alive, reverberating with whispers of wonder and disbelief. As the villagers filtered out, the night air felt charged with energy, thick as honey. The moon hung high, casting ethereal light over the cobblestone streets, illuminating faces that reflected a mix of joy and apprehension. Could faith truly work such wonders? Sarah stepped outside, her heart still racing from the earlier events. She held Daniel's small hand tightly, a tangible connection to the miracle that had just unfolded. The other villagers gathered around her, their eyes sparkling with newfound hope. "What do you think it means?" someone whispered, glancing at the sky as if searching for answers among the stars. "I believe," Sarah replied softly, her voice trembling with emotion. "I believe God has a greater plan for us." Pastor James emerged from the church, his face lit with fervor, and the crowd hushed to hear him speak. Tonight was just the beginning. Do not let doubt creep into your hearts. Witnessing one miracle opens the door for many more. His passionate declaration ignited a flicker of determination among the villagers. The night deepened, and as Sarah made her way home, the radiance of the moon illuminated her path. She felt the weight of so many hopes resting upon them, the collective faith of an entire community woven together under the glow of divine promise. Would they all witness more miracles? As dawn approached, the villagers awoke with renewed spirits. News spread quickly through St. Augustine, sparking conversations, prayers, and perhaps a little trepidation. Each household buzzed with anticipation, gathering to share stories not just of Daniel, but of other trials and burdens they carried. The question on everyone's lips was the same. What else could God do tonight? Neighbors began to share their own issues, laying bare their struggles while kindling flickers of hope for transformation. Old Martha spoke of her failing eyesight. Barnaby, a local thespian, mentioned his financial troubles, and young Emily shared her worries about a sick pet. Each story dripped with the fear of despair, yet within their words pulsed a deep yearning for divine intervention. Later that day, Pastor James announced the next gathering, a night dedicated solely to healing and miracles, inviting everyone to come with an open heart. Bring your burdens. Bring your doubts. God is ready to perform miracles. The words wrapped around the villagers like a soft embrace, and hope ignited anew. As twilight fell, the church welcomed its believers once again, each heart beating in rhythm with the prayers that wove a tapestry of faith. Sarah arrived, her heart aflame with a desire for miracles not just for herself, but for all those surrounding her. She felt the undeniable truth. If they came together, united in faith, they could bring forth the unimaginable. And just as Pastor James began to speak, the air shimmered with that familiar warmth, sending shivers down their spines. Sarah looked around, knowing this was no ordinary meeting. Then, a rustle at the back of the church drew her gaze. A figure stepped through the door, cloaked in mystery, capturing the attention of every believer present. What was it that this stranger sought? What new wonders would their arrival bring? As the atmosphere thickened with anticipation, the villagers held their breath, ready for the unfolding divine mystery. Would this be their chance to witness something even more extraordinary? The moment hung heavy in the air, each breath a prayer, filling the church with a sacred tension. The stranger stood just inside the threshold, their face hidden beneath the hood of a deep blue cloak. Soft whispers rippled through the congregation, excitement and trepidation weaving a tapestry of emotions. Who was this enigmatic figure, and what message did they bring? Pastor James paused, his brow furrowing with curiosity. "You are welcome here," he called out, his voice steady yet inviting. "Please, come forth and share what you have come to reveal." The villagers leaned in, hearts pounding, as the figure stepped into the warm candlelight. As they approached the altar, a stillness settled over the room. The stranger raised their hand, and a quiet energy pulsed through the gathered believers, an unspoken invitation to open their hearts wider, to embrace a deeper understanding of faith. With each step, the spirit of anticipation grew, thickening like sweet honey. "I come not to perform, but to awaken," the figure said, their voice calm, yet resonant. "Miracles are the whispers of God, spoken softly to those willing to listen." The weight of the words enveloped the congregation, igniting a longing. "Awaken us," someone cried from the back, and the murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. They yearned for transformation, to see beyond the veil of ordinary life into the boundless possibility of divine love. Sarah felt her heart quicken. She thought of Martha with her failing eyesight, Barnaby wrestling with financial despair. Could this be a moment of truth for them? She wondered. The stranger continued, "Tonight, the Lord has opened 7 doors of healing for those brave enough to step through. But remember, beloved, healing requires faith, a leap into the unknown." A collective gasp echoed through the church, hearts soaring with hope and trepidation. 7 doors, Pastor James murmured, a gleam in his eye. Each burden has its corresponding miracle waiting to be claimed. As if summoned by the whispered prayer of the pastor, the church was suddenly bathed in an intense golden light, the atmosphere shifting to something otherworldly. Sarah felt the warmth wrap around her like a divine embrace, a promise that hope was alive and in abundance. The stranger beckoned, "Come forth if you seek healing." One by one, villagers stepped into the light, drawing closer to the beautiful vulnerability that hung in the air. Each person who approached experienced an unexplainable sensation, a spark igniting within. With each step, they felt the weight of their burdens lift, a gentle reminder that they were not alone. "Lord, we lift our hearts to you," Sarah prayed silently, watching as her neighbors were enveloped in the radiant glow. Tears glistened in their eyes, some were filled with awe, others with the bittersweet relief of unburdening their souls. "God is among us tonight," shouted Barnaby, a hint of disbelief enshrouding his joy. "I feel it. I feel something changing." The revelation hung thick, electrifying. Sarah's eyes searched the crowd for old Martha, and there she stood, tears streaming but smiling. For the first time in years, her gaze was bright, her spirit lifted. As the crowd began to chant in praise, the stranger raised their hand once more, commanding silence. Miracles await those who believe, but there are choices to make and faith to deepen. Take a moment and reflect, for the final door has yet to be revealed. What could this final door be? What do their hearts seek most? The room brimming with divine promise, the air a tapestry woven with hope and possibility, hung in suspense as they awaited the touch of God. What would they discover when they dared to cross that threshold? As the crowd fell into a hush, the golden light pulsed gently with the rhythm of hope itself. Every eye turned, not just towards the stranger, but also inward, searching hearts, whispering prayers, and seeking answers that lay cloaked in faith. Tonight, the stranger intoned, their voice like the soft rustle of leaves in a sacred grove. The final door is not just for healing of the body, but of the spirit and soul. What the Lord desires is transformation, a rebirth. A flicker of disbelief danced across some faces, merging with an undercurrent of longing. The air thickened with possibility. Sarah felt a tremor run through her. Rebirth? The unspoken struggles of life weighed heavy in her heart, her own doubts, worries about her family, and the haunting memories of loss. "What do we have to do?" Barnaby chimed, his earlier abandon giving way to fervent curiosity. The question resonated, echoing softly among the others. They were ready for guidance. "Open yourselves," the stranger replied, stepping closer to the altar, their outstretched arms embracing the flickering candlelight. "Surrender your burdens. Speak the names of what you wish to relinquish. Bring forth your broken dreams, the inadequacies, the lost hopes. Let the light in." Encouraged by the stranger's inspiring call, many began to whisper, some loud, some silent. "Freedom," one person uttered. "Clarity, joy, unity." The voices harmonized like a sweet symphony, mixing desperation with desire. Sarah inhaled deeply, her heart racing. What could she release? Doubts? Regrets? She yearned for a new beginning for herself and those she loved. With shaken confidence, she stepped forward, feeling the warm glow alongside her skin. "I let go of fear," she spoke, her voice trembling yet firm. "Fear of change, fear of what lies ahead." As her words floated into the air, she sensed the wind shift, the atmosphere crackling with energy. Those around her began to voice their struggles too, a wave of honest vulnerability cascading through the congregation. The stranger looked deeply at each individual, their gaze piercing yet comforting. Release it all to the divine. Tonight, trust is the key that opens the seventh and final door. Suddenly, the golden light burst forth, expanding and swirling, bathing the church in a radiant glow that seemed to vibrate with divine energy. The very walls resonated, as if the building itself rejoiced at the release of burdens. Feel it! Someone shouted, their hands lifted. We are light. We are love. And with each proclamation, the spirit of the crowd surged higher. Their faith was palpable, a golden thread weaving them all together until each heart beat in sync with the other. In this moment of unity, Sarah's spirit soared. She felt a profound connection, as if God was entwining their lives through faith, urging them all to rise beyond their trials. Take another breath, the stranger instructed, and know this: each of you emerging now is transformed. Miracles are not just events, but journeys. What will yours reveal? With that, the light began to coalesce into vivid images, a tapestry of memories, hopes, and dreams manifesting in glorious color. Sarah glimpsed the future, a vision of her family thriving, embraced by divine grace. As the warmth settled in her heart, she knew this was just the beginning. The journey ahead was uncertain yet promising, and within the depths of the crowd, the murmurs rose once more, voices filled with wonder and an insatiable yearning to know the next step. Were we truly meant to become? Echoed through the church, as hearts ignited with questions, preparing for divine revelations yet to unfold. What awaited them on this sacred path? The atmosphere thrummed with anticipation as the golden light continued to dance within the sacred space. Each flicker, every pulse seemed to awaken hope from its slumber. Sarah felt it swell within her chest, a radiant warmth that melded seamlessly with the heartfelt prayers echoing around her. Transformation is not merely about letting go, the stranger continued, their voice smooth and steady. It is also about embracing what is coming, opening your hearts to receive the abundance that waits to fill the voids of your soul. Walls trembled with murmurs of agreement, souls flickering into life like the candles they lit. Sarah's eyes glistened, tears brimming as she contemplated what lay beyond her fears. Was she ready to embrace the unknown? To invite blessings into her life that she had long deemed impossible? How do we prepare ourselves? A soft voice asked, breaking through the chorus of emotion. It was Mrs. Henderson, her gentle spirit akin to a fragile flower blossoming despite the cold. The stranger turned their gaze toward her, the light reflecting in their eyes, casting a halo of engagement. Preparation comes from willingness, the stranger answered. It begins with surrender, letting go of past grievances, and allowing joy to seep in, no matter how simple it may be. How can joy come when there is pain? Added one of the cynical voices in the back, tinged with skepticism. Before the stranger answered, silence spilled like honey across the congregation, thickening the sacred atmosphere. Pain can wear a heavy cloak, they said, their voice rising slightly, as if summoning strength from the spirits. But the light we cultivate together transforms sorrow into purpose. Let it reveal the beauty hidden within change is never easy, but it is always anchored in love. Sarah felt those words resonate deeply. Love. It was a soft whisper that cut through the cacophony of her doubts. Each instance of love she had experienced, though accompanied by tears, had birthed something new and stronger within her. What if joy was just a heartbeat away? Suddenly, the golden light spiraled higher, doors of perception swinging open as if the heavens themselves burst forth with possibility. Some in the crowd gasped, faces reflecting not just the light, but the realization of divine potential. Embrace it, the stranger encouraged. Let each of you envision what light you wish to carry forward. What will you seek? What will you become? The room swirled with vivid colors as dreams began to manifest before their eyes. Relationships mending. Sonia's husband, long absent, seen laughing with their children. A vision of Barnaby, hands raised in praise, leading worship with newfound confidence. Images of health glowing around those struggling with illness. I see joy. Someone shouted. I see community. Another echoed. Sarah squeezed her eyes shut, centering her thoughts. She envisioned the laughter of her family. Unity. A table set for gatherings, warmth surrounding every corner. I want connection, Sarah whispered softly, the bond that ties us all together. Then join with your vision. The stranger called out, their arms extended, as if inviting the crowd deeper into the light. Bring forth the beauty in your hearts. Speak it out loud. Share your treasures. With a wave of hearts igniting, the congregation began to chant. Connection, love, forgiveness, abundance. The energy surged, rippling through the air like an electric current. Sarah's heart beat in time with the voices, each proclamation a testament of faith binding them closer. As the chant continued, the stranger closed their eyes, allowing the breakthrough of spirit to engulf them. Let the tears flow. Tears are not weakness, but healing waters. Release what does not serve you and embrace what you are meant to become. In that moment, Sarah felt as if she stood at the precipice of something magnificent. She remembered her fears, her insecurities, yet they seemed so small against the backdrop of this divine promise. What if the transformation within her was already underway? What if this was just the beginning? And, as the last echo of their declarations faded, the golden light shimmered and pulsed again, revealing images of miracles and impossibilities that would unfold. What awaits us? She thought, filled with an eager yearning. A path opened wide, illuminating the unknown journey ahead. As silence settled in, a question hung palpably in the air. What divine miracle was just over the horizon, waiting to be unveiled? The silence hung like a fragile thread, buzzing with unspoken hopes. Each heart in the room beat in rhythmic anticipation, pulsing with the promise of newfound connection and joy. It was almost as if the air itself stirred, thickening with the weight of the divine presence. Sarah opened her eyes slowly, the golden light now casting a soft glow over the faces around her. She could see their eyes wide with wonder, fear mingling with faith, vulnerability entwined with courage. In that sacred moment, the stranger began to walk through the rows, a gentle smile lighting their face. They exuded warmth, their very being a vessel of visibility for what could be. You each hold within you a miracle, they said, each word wrapping around the gathering like a comforting embrace. Look within, what are you desperate to cast into the light? A young man, trembling yet bold, stepped forward. I've struggled with doubt for so long, I want to believe. His voice cracked, and the breath of the crowd caught in shared acknowledgement. Then believe, my friend. The stranger encouraged, their voice a melodic balm. Faith is a choice, and that choice binds you to the divine. Lay down the weight of disbelief. Know that your heart already seeks connection, and in that seeking, it finds strength. With that affirmation, a cascade of murmurs surged through the congregation. People began voicing their desires, and with every declaration, the room vibrated with energy. I want healing. I want forgiveness. I desire joy. Each proclamation acted like a key, unlocking deeper dimensions within each soul present. As those heartfelt desires filled the air, Sarah's spirit felt light, as if each shared wish floated like the golden light itself. The stranger stood in the midst of it all, hands raised, inviting. Unlock the power of your shared light. What happens when a collective comes together in hope? Miracles unfold. Suddenly, beams of light shot forth from the stranger's hands, showering upon the room like radiant rain, illuminating every face, every heart. Sarah's breath caught in amazement. It was not just a display, it was an awakening. Memories of healing and hope flickered around her like candle flames in the dark. She envisioned her family thriving, all burdens lifted, and they gathered by the table she had dreamed of. She now understood. They weren't just speaking wishes into existence. Each word was a thread, weaving them all together in divine tapestry. Remember this, the stranger said, their gaze piercing through the shadows. Heaven is always near. It blossoms around you when you step into faith. What you have envisioned cannot be contained. It will break barriers. Are you ready to welcome this shifting? A wave of nods rippled back. Sarah felt an electrifying thrill run through her veins. Yes, she was ready. Then let S draw forth a new beginning. The stranger's voice rose in powerful crescendo, echoing through the very fiber of their beings. As you embrace hope and let go of fear, watch as the heavens part and the miracles rain down upon you. The congregation erupted in a fervent chorus, pooling their hopes and dreams into one magnificent wave of energy. Sarah's heart soared, realizing that the miracles they longed for were not mere fantasies. They were right at the threshold ready to enter. But amidst the euphoria, apprehension bubbled within her. What if they were not enough? What if her dreams didn't manifest as she hoped? Her heart ached with tension, yet hope guided her. Because beneath that uncertainty lay a truth, a divine assurance that awaited those who dared to step forward. As the gathering energy pulsed, it seemed the universe responded. The lights dimmed slightly, and a shimmering image began to form in the center, a promise of what was to come, an undeniable sign of transformation. What revelations would emerge from such divine interaction? The possibilities felt endless, and Sarah couldn't shake the question. Were they truly ready for what was about to be revealed? The atmosphere was charged, thick with an expectancy that felt almost tangible. Sarah's heart beat faster, a drum echoing within her. She watched intently as the shimmering image grew, its edges softly glowing with divine light. Faces around her reflected a mixture of hope and fear, each person drawing strength and courage from the collective yearning that surrounded them. The stranger stood firmly in the center, a bastion of calm amidst the swirling emotions. "Close your eyes," they commanded gently, their voice a whisper through the fervor. "Picture what you long to see. Let your visions take shape. Do not shy away in doubt. Instead, embrace the clarity of your desires." As she obeyed, Sarah inhaled deeply. She let her mind drift to the family gatherings filled with laughter, the joyous reunions she had pieced together in her thoughts. Would they truly find their way back to each other? The shimmering center pulsated, reacting to her thoughts like a heartbeat, fast and alive. One by one, others joined her in silence, their faces serene as they dove deep into their dreams. It was as if time stood still, each heartbeat aligning with the divine rhythm. "You are not alone," the stranger reminded them, their presence a lighthouse guiding through the fog. When aligned with love and light, connect with what is already yours. Every miracle you seek is intertwined with the shared essence of your souls. Sarah felt a newfound warmth seize her heart, wrapping her in an invisible hug. It pushed away her lingering doubts and wrapped her tightly in faith. "I am worthy," she whispered, finding assurance in the words. "We are worthy." Suddenly, the glowing image shifted, morphing into vibrant hues. Sarah squeezed her eyes shut tighter, the brilliance contrasting sharply with the dark of her eyelids. She pictured her dreams cascading down like brilliant waterfall, each droplet a miracle ready to be caught, to be cherished. Then the stranger shouted out, "Look, open your eyes." As they did, gasps arose. The shimmering light had transformed into remarkable patterns, forming a vibrant tapestry that danced through the air. It wove together the hopes and dreams of everyone present. Each individual thread sparkled uniquely, yet aligned in stunning harmony. Faces glowing with inspiration mirrored the shifts in the unfolding light. Each hue represented a different prayer, a cure for sickness, a yearning for friendship, restoration of lost relationships, and a quest for freedom from fear. Sarah's heart raced as she saw shadows dissolve, replaced by mugs steaming with love and laughter shared, echoes of joy, and children happily playing. "It's happening!" A voice rang out, pure and melodic. Sarah turned to see an older woman, tears streaming down her face, glowing with divine delight. We are witnessing a divine symphony, each note plucked from our dreams and played on the strings of heaven. The energy surged, a tidal wave of collective belief crashing against barriers that once confined them. It dawned upon Sarah that these miracles were more than mere wishes, they were affirmations that bound each heart to the light. Yet, amidst the jubilation, a nagging thought flitted across her mind. Had she opened herself enough? Was she prepared to embrace the reality of all that would come flooding in? A sudden stillness fell, as if the very universe paused to listen. The air grew electric with anticipation, and Sarah could feel something profound drawing near. "Gather your strength," the stranger urged softly. "What you open yourself to now shapes the very foundation of your journey ahead. Are you truly ready to embrace the wonders that await?" As they posed that momentous question, Sarah's heart began pounding anew. What lay just beyond the threshold was still a mystery, a beautiful enigma to explore. But as she looked into the eyes of her companions, resolute in their newfound faith, she knew that everything was about to change forever. What would they discover when they took that brave next step? As the hush draped over the gathering, Sarah felt the pulse of life in her veins. The air shimmered with possibility. What is this wonder? A thought flickered in her mind like a candle flame struggling against the wind. Suddenly, a veil of light rippled across the vibrant tapestry hovering above them, swirling into an intricate design that felt sacred. Each color seemed alive, resonating with unspoken prayers, intertwining aspirations and intimate yearnings. Sarah could feel her spirit rising with every blink of the radiance, each pulse an invitation to dive deeper. "We stand on the brink." The stranger's voice cut through her thoughts, steady and inviting. "Now, you must choose what your heart truly desires. This moment shapes your understanding of the divine orchestrations unfolding. Align with your heart's call." With eyes wide open, Sarah scanned the faces around her. Hope clung to each like gossamer threads of a spider's web, glistening with the morning dew. She saw uncertainty, but also fierce determination and expectation, each person connecting to the truth vibrating around them. Think of the love you seek, the healing you desire, the burdens you wish to release, the stranger continued, each word a soft brush against the spirit. What if the very essence of your dreams is waiting just beyond the horizon? Sarah's heart quickened, the beat echoing like the sound of a distant thunderstorm, promising rain after a long drought. Could it be possible that the dreams she had nearly given up on were within reach? She began to speak softly. "Let our hearts unite. Let our voices carry. We are worthy." The chorus of voices rose, a tidal wave crashing against the shores of the unknown. Each person added their desire, weaving their hopes into the growing tapestry. Sarah could feel a profound connection forming. They were no longer just individuals lost in their own thoughts, but one mighty river flowing toward a greater destiny. Warmth engulfed her as she spoke. "Together, we seek comfort for the grieving, health for the sick, strength for the weary, and joy for the brokenhearted." She could feel the strangers stepping closer, their presence empowering, urging her on. More voices joined in, a harmonious assembly of dreams tumbling down like rain upon thirsty soil. Each note resonated in her chest, blending into a single song, a divine anthem that suspended time. The tapestry above began to spin faster, colors mixing like paint on a palette. Laughter erupted from the crowd. Tears of joy flowed freely. Justice was sought, grace was declared, and limitless love poured forth, encompassing them all. And then it came an overwhelming wave of stillness swept over the gathering, the light pulsating rhythmically like a heartbeat. Sarah gasped in awe as the tapestry radiated pure gold, casting flickers of brilliance on their faces. "What is happening?" whispered a woman beside her, eyes wide, face glistening with tears. "The divine is revealing itself," the stranger replied, their eyes shimmering with knowledge. "Every prayer raised is a step closer to the miracles waiting to unfold." But Sarah felt a hint of fear creeping in. Was she prepared for the magnitude of what lay ahead? Would she truly accept the seismic shifts in her life? In that moment of intense clarity, something within her clarified. "I embrace this journey," she declared, feeling the warmth radiating from every heartbeat across the circle. "Whatever comes, I am ready." With those words, the tapestry erupted into brilliant flames of light, scattering golden sparks throughout the air like stars exploding into existence. Each person stood, bathing in the divine glow, the borders of their individual selves melting away. The stranger raised their arms, calling forth the collective energy. Miracles are born from the depths of our faith. Are you ready to witness the manifestation of divine love right now? As the words hung in the air, Sarah's heart raced. She took a deep breath, the energy around her surging as hope gripped her tightly. What would happen next? What divine revelations awaited when they truly opened themselves to the mysteries of the universe? Caught in a magical web of uncertainty and expectation, Sarah felt alive. The adventure was just beginning, but it beckoned with the promise of divine wonders unseen. The light intensified, wrapping each heart in its warmth as the flickering tapestry settled into a mesmerizing glow. It felt as if the air around them had transformed, charged with a sacred electricity. Each person in the circle held their breath, suspended in the miracle of the moment. Sarah's voice trembled with emotion. "We trust, we believe," she spoke softly, yet her words resonated with weight, echoing deep within the chests of those nearby. They were on the threshold of something vast, something precious. As she took a step forward, the stranger's gaze locked onto hers, as if reading the depths of her soul. "This is your moment, Sarah. Speak what you see. Let your heart share the vision." A rush of dreams filled her mind, vibrant and dazzling. Love wrapped around her, intertwining with visions of healed relationships, joyful reunions, and laughter shared on sunlit days. "I see unity breaking through strife," she whispered, the words spilling forth as freely as the light above. "I see chains of despair shattering, hope rising like dawn." Illuminating the darkest corners, the crowd stood transfixed, their hearts moving in rhythm with her convictions. Faces brightened as they looked to one another, able to glimpse their deepest aspirations mirrored in Sarah's words. The stranger smiled, their presence casting a spell of calm amidst the growing energy. "Keep going, sister. You are the vessel of the divine spirit today. Let them know they are heard." Sarah felt the fire of inspiration blaze through her, carrying every word like a feather on the wind. Healing is coming. Comfort will wash over the grieving like a soothing rain. A cheer erupted as those gathered began to lift their arms, opening themselves up to the heavens. Suddenly, the tapestry pulsated with a rhythm of its own, swirling and spinning, depicting scenes of people embracing, hands being held, lives transformed. The colors shifted, glowing brightly before her eyes, mixing joy with peace and harmonizing their hopes into a magnificent dawn. "Stand strong, friends," she called out. "The divine love we seek is already within us. We may not see the path, but our faith lights our way. Every whisper, every prayer, matters more than we can ever know." The crowd responded, their cries intertwining into a beautiful harmony. "We believe, we trust, we are worthy." Just then, the very fabric of reality began to shift, seemingly loosening. It was as if the tapestry was not just a symbol, but a living entity reacting to their collective faith. The energy surged, enveloping them in a cocoon of bright light, lifting them slightly off the ground, suspended in divine anticipation. Sarah could almost taste the sweetness in the air like honey and sunshine, a promise flickering in the distance. Yet, lingering within her heart was a whisper of doubt. Would this be enough? Were their visions strong enough to summon miracles? In the midst of uncertainty, she steadied herself. "Let's journey deeper," she encouraged, a gentle yet firm note in her voice. It's time to believe not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. We draw forth the unseen into the seen. As if responding to her call, the tapestry shimmered and exploded into a cascade of light, illuminating the sky above them. Each golden spark carried shimmering truths of love, joy, and miracles, whispering promises of what was yet to come. The strangers stepped closer, almost radiating a halo of energy. Soon, my friends, the veil will lift. Are you ready to take that leap? Sarah felt her heart thud. This was a moment of reckoning. What awaited them just on the other side? With a resolute nod, she replied softly, "I am ready. Let us see what the Creator has in store for us." As the anticipation thickened, Sarah's palm tingled with a sensation she had never felt before, a divine calling to step into the unknown. In the stillness following their outburst of faith, she sensed something pivotal was about to happen. Would they witness miracles that would change everything? Would they uncover mysteries that would shape their lives forever? All at once, the air shimmered, and time seemed to stretch. The possibility danced before them, inviting them into the embrace of the miraculous. The question loomed: what awaited them beyond this moment of divine intensity? The church was a cauldron of energy, swirling with vibrant faith. The golden light enveloped the villagers, its warmth a reminder of God's promises. Pastor James stood tall, his voice ringing out like a clarion call amid the rising tide of spiritual fervor. Tonight, we stand on the brink of something monumental. The final door is ready to open. As the congregation held its breath, the mysterious figure, still robed in the deep blue cloak, stepped fully into the light. "You have journeyed far," they proclaimed, voice rich with hope. "Now, it is time for each of you to embrace the miracles waiting just beyond your reach. Will you accept this gift?" "Yes." A chorus of voices thundered, shaking the very foundation of the church. The air crackled with divine electricity, palpable and electrifying. Each villager felt the stirrings of their souls, as if the tapestry above was weaving their desires into the very air they breathed. "Accept your power," the stranger called, extending their arms. "Each of you holds within a spark of divine creation. Close your eyes and envision the person you wish to become. Imagine the dreams that dance like fireflies in your heart. Bring those visions forth." Sarah felt her breath catch. Clenching her fists, she closed her eyes tight, diving into the depths of her soul. "I see my family, healed and whole. I want joy. I want us together again." With each heartbeat, she felt her vision blossom, like flowers breaking through the cold earth. She saw laughter filling her home, her son Daniel vibrant and unfettered by sickness. Her village, a fusion of renewed spirit, lifted in unison. One by one, others followed. "I want financial stability," Barnaby shouted. "I wish for clarity in my purpose," said Emily. They poured forth, revealing the layers of their hearts. Each confession, a thread binding them tighter together, transforming their fears into declarations of faith. The tapestry pulsated with their shared hopes. Colors erupted, swirling in a symphony of brilliance. Golds, pinks, blues danced like living entities, igniting the room. The walls reverberated, filled with prayers, hopes, and the vibrant energy of rising love. "Embrace love." The stranger's voice rose above the deafening waves of faith. "Let it wash away your past. Feel the fractures of your spirit mend." At that moment, something profound shifted. Sarah opened her eyes, and the shimmering tapestry transformed into a scene: her family, sharing a table, a feast filled with laughter, warmth, and belonging. The vision surged through her like a torrent, filling her heart to overflowing. Then came a hush, a sacred silence where only the sound of breathing remained. The stranger turned slowly, meeting the eyes of each villager. "You are not merely witnesses. You are the divine sparks that awaken the world. Together, you wield the power to manifest what your hearts have envisioned." Tears of joy spilled down Sarah's cheeks. Hope was no longer distant. It was at her fingertips. The possibilities felt endless. It was as if the universe leaned in to listen, ready to respond to every whisper of their faith. "Tonight, rise. Embrace your miracles," the stranger implored, their energy vibrating through the air. The villagers, sensing the shift, stood together, arms raised high. "We claim our healing," Sarah shouted, her voice breaking through the crowd. "We embrace love. We are worthy." With that declaration, the tapestry erupted into a brilliant cascade of color, and gold filled the church as the very fabric of reality seemed to respond. Sarah, along with the others, felt herself lifted, bathed in a transformative light that surged with promise. "Together we create," echoed the stranger's voice, merging with every proclamation. In that moment, the villagers felt an undeniable connection to each other and to Goddess love. It wrapped around them like a shawl, warm, comforting, and impenetrable. They were more than a community. They were a living embodiment of faith, united under the celestial glow. As the light pulsed, they heard laughter, soft and distant, like a melodic echo of miracles yet to come. The air thickened with love, wrapping around their hearts, binding each person's life story into a magnificent narrative of divine truth. The stranger stepped back, eyes sparkling with satisfaction. "What you seek is not in the distance, but already within you. Carry this flame forward into the world. You are the light, let it shine brightly." When at last the light dimmed, Sarah opened her eyes wide, and her heart swelled with an overwhelming sense of peace and purpose. She realized then that every transformation began within, nurtured by faith and love. And St. Augustine stood on the cusp of something beautiful, the promise of their community, forever changed by divine wonder. Now, dear friends, this is the moment to take action. If you have felt the sacred power of this story, you need to subscribe now to the channel so you won't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm that's how we spread these powerful messages far and wide. Don't hold back. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending. We'd love to hear your heart. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of miracles. You have the power to bring hope and inspiration to those around you. Join this community of true servants of God and support our mission today. Don't wait even one more second.